Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Dan. Welcome to All About Novus. It's been a crazy Monday. We've tried to kind of create this video about 5 or 6 times. It's basically a condensed version of our live stream video. This is a good one. We're actually creating terrain brushes in Photoshop, pulling in Heightmaps from anywhere we can, adding custom brushes in Photoshop, creating those, exporting those brushes, using those in ZBrush, using those in ArtRage. You probably use them in any type of program that could use a Photoshop brush, can use it. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me first show you the resources, the resource I used to collect the information. One second here. This is an app I found, a little background on it. The resolution is horrible on what it's generating. I'll show you here.
This is Dan from All About Novus. I'm going to show you a quick and semi-powerful little tool on an iPhone or iPad. Let me show you the app really quick. It's this guy here, Cartographer. Let's see if I can highlight that. Find it on the App Store. And what this does, it creates just quick and dirty, random, well, not really dirty, but random little maps. Let me go ahead. You just hit reload and it quickly does stuff for us. Now, the really interesting thing about this is that I found, especially for this demo, is a height map generator, okay? Let me go ahead and we're going to save that. And we're going to email that, and we're going to send that to our desktop, and I'll let Dan explain a little bit more from here.
All right, thanks, other Dan. That's just in summary. It's just a little iPhone app. It first was created for, I think, the iPhone 5 or 6. They've recently updated it for the iPad and the iPad Pro, so you get a much higher resolution. Let's go ahead and get into Photoshop really quick, and we will start making brushes. Okay, here's Photoshop right now. We're going to really hurry this along. We're first of all going to create a new, the first of this, we need to actually be in a Photoshop document. This is very, very important. We need to also have a resolution that's going to match wherever this is going to be. And this right here is the most critical spot. It needs to be 8-bit. Anything else, you're going to get issues with other programs. ArtRage doesn't like it. Maya has kind of a hard time with it. ZBrush couldn't care less. It'll take anything. So we hit create and create our new. Yeah, I've already got a brush there. We'll hide that for a second. Just hide that. All right, so we have a background. We're going to unlock it. We're going to create a new layer. We're going to delete this background. Now I'm going to do 2 of these, kind of the same way. Same process, really quick and easy for everybody. Take our fan control over here so you can actually hear me talk. All right, what we're going to do next is we're going to open what we want to make brushes out of. If you notice, I have a file called stupid and another file right here. These have been causing me a lot of issues today. Have been making me very put out. But we have persevered and we've created these. Now, these initial images are JPEGs. Let me just be very clear about that. Since they are JPEG files, if you try to make a brush out of a JPEG file, some programs are going to make those so that they are not compatible. So make sure that you open the JPEGs in another file, in another window at Photoshop. And then when it's time, just go ahead and grab it, put it where you want. This one, we're just going to kind of, you know, do horrible things to it. Let's just do that. All right, that's great. And we're going to crop this. Select. Yeah, I know. Select the layer. Just going to crop it right there. Same thing with this one. We grab it, we place it into our painting. This one's a little bigger. Also, if you hear some popping, that's my mic. My family is being very kind and letting me do this during their Food Network time, so I'd really like to appreciate them. Okay, so we have our images cropped that we want to. Oh, it's like we have some there. Image and crop. Okay. We're not going to merge those down. And merge these down. Not to get anything confused, we're going to go in these JPEGs. We are going to just close these. Yes. We're going to close these as fast as we can. Okay. To start out, we're going to first adjust the layer levels to create us kind of a very cool terrain. To do that, my preferred way with this height map is to go into, 1 second please. Excuse me, a little pop there. Go into exposure. And we're just going to adjust the exposure for now. Actually, I have my own custom. There we go. That's my setting. Exposure at -0.15, offset at 0.008, and gamma correction at 0.79. This brush here seems to really work for me, this setting. Once that's done, I'll merge that down. Okay, let's go to our first one here. Now this one is color, so we're going to have to doctor this a little bit. To do that, we're going to hit Control-Shift-U. If I selected the layer and did that right, Control-Shift-U to make it black, to make it like that. Looks like we got some, yeah, I know. We got some issues with some pixels. Let's go ahead and crop that just a little more. All right. Now let's go ahead, same, you go to exposure. And same thing there. You can see that. Maybe on this one we're going to just exposure, just kind of work with exposure. This one's really bright, so we're going to turn that down a little. And merge down. Okay, here's the fun time. To make the brushes, now make sure you currently have the latest version of Photoshop 2019 installed. Otherwise, it's going to be a mess and you'll end up redoing this for 7 times in one day, like I did, which is not fun. So let's get started. First thing that we do is select the layer. We go to Edit, and we define the brush preset. This is going to, and it gives us a name. Let's say this is our land 1. Okay. The size is 2000 pixels. Okay. Just because it says land 1 doesn't mean the brush is ready to go yet. Okay. Get my cheat sheet here. Actually, I messed up one, so we actually have to invert this. I'm sorry about that, folks. Okay, we have to invert this because we want when we make a brush, we want this brush to act a certain way in some of our programs. To invert this, Control-I with the, yeah, I'm sorry, folks, merge down. We're going to get rid of this layer. Nope, go away. Gonna just get that because we did something wrong there. Again, that's why we live stream. That's why I live stream on this channel, just to show you the mistakes I make. So if you have any troubles, you guys can make your own. Again, Control-I to invert that. This guy here, I think we're going to, now as I look at it, we're going to adjust some stuff on there. So doing that, let's do this. Go back here into exposure, zoom in a little bit more on here. And we're going to go to my default. I'm going to offset this. However, we're going to increase some other things a little bit. Because we definitely want the peaks and the valleys there. Merge down. Okay, once we got that, again, select the layer, Control-I to invert it. Okay, I have a nice cool land. This one, we can actually take this map and make a 3D terrain like in 5 minutes. We'll probably do it with one of these. Okay, we're in. Just double check that we're all good to go. Yep. Okay, let's do this one. I'm liking this one better than the others. So to do this, select our layer, go to Edit, go down to Define Brush Preset. And land one. Okay, we select the brush. Now, we have a brush ready to go. However, this is just us selecting the brush. This is not us saving the brush. Big difference. Okay, if we were to save this, it would just save as some corrupt data, and ArtRage and Zbrush would have cow. So the next thing we do, we select the brush. We have this little square happiness here. And this says new brush. This is where you want to get to. If you don't see this new brush, there's issues. Okay, new brush one. Okay, we're there. We select that brush, the new brush one that we just made. We export that brushes. Let's go ahead on the desktop. You can see I've got a lot of those. Now let's go into our previous. Kind of hard to tell where our cursor is because the brush is so big. Okay, same thing with this one. We select, go to File, Edit, define brush preset, just like we did before. Select the brush, new brush. Put that as winning 3. We select the brush again. Then we go to Export, selected brush. I hope your file system's a lot more happy than mine. Okay, let's see if this worked now. Big moment of truth. I'd like to thank Online Tabletop RPG for your help today. They've been a great asset to us, and we couldn't have done this without them. There's been many beating of heads. Now, in ArtRage, this is ArtRage right now. ArtRage has a pretty decent import function. To do this, we're going to first of all, once we're in, it needs to be in sticker spray. We go into Add Group. We're going to put Group. I hope this works. Once that's up, okay, we're going to click on I hope this works. Make sure we're there. Now up in this top right corner, we have a little icon. It looks like a menu thing, looks like the state of Utah in the US. Click on that. Just double check that my mic's on. Yes, it is. We click on that and we hit import Photoshop brushes. Okay, now this is the hard part. Then all those settings in ArtRage that you have to put up. Oh wait, it's done. Okay. There it is. Let's bring in the other one. Import Photoshop brush, and that was winning 1, I hope. Oh, no, don't want that. I already did that. My bad. Put Photoshop brush. Winning 3. Yep. 2 completely different brushes. You can use them for anything. Okay, really quick on this guy here. We are going to make a 3D map in Photoshop. To do that, we select our brush we just made. We get a nice fancy dancy color there. We double check our settings. Spray rate to 100. Oh, spray rate's good. That's good. Let's just keep it there. And then we just click. Yeah, we're going to have to play around with this a little bit. Yeah, that's good. We're just going to bust this out. So just one click. I put that down. I'm not going to worry about adjusting this or cropping. There's some settings, a little bit of dither. If I put like another one here, another one there, that's what we're going to get. There's some other great brush artists. I am trying my hand at that right now. And hopefully one day I'll get to it. So we're just going to try to make this as straight as possible. Okay, there, we'll do that. We're going to lock that transparency now, folks. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to come here. We're going to duplicate this layer. Okay, and duplicate this layer again. And duplicate it a 3rd time. Once we've done that, we're going to select the transparency. Oh, let's go ahead and make sure our canvas setting has transparency. Yep, opacity off. See my other videos to kind of see what I'm doing here. We select the transparency, hold down control to make sure we get everything. Little ocean rivers there, little. All right. Make sure we get that big one. Cool. We get it Control Shift I. We come down to a new layer. We choose our gigantic tool for the hard squeeze. If you're kind of confused on what I'm doing right now, look at our other videos. It's kind of a whole process. What I'm doing is I'm putting a ton of paint on this canvas. And once that paint's on this canvas, we are going to start creating a 3D texture in real time with ArtRage. And it is one of my favorite things in ArtRages because of what it does. Something else we need to do is we got to set canvas settings. We want our canvas color to be a very dark green. There we go. And we're going to come in here. We're going to rough this up just a little bit, not too much. Our bottom layer, I mean, I'm really hustling on this, but our bottom layer needs to be the most refined and the most textured layer we can get. Well, not the most textured, but we want to make sure that its texture is the one we want for all time. The reason for that is the bad foundation, bad map picture. Just remember that. Okay, got a pretty good one there. Fill that in. Yay. Okay. So what we're going to do next is let's go ahead and color this a, I don't know, darker green. Going to get our, that there, our airbrush opacity up to 100%, pressure to 100%. You can already see there is some texture there. Kind of use a darker color, it shows up a little better, so I'm going to go back to my brush. I'm going to try to blast that out a little bit more. Come back in with this. Yay. Okay. Next step, we're going to Control D to unselect everything. We're going to lock that transparency. We're going to go up one layer and show that. To lock transparency, we kind of want to see this a little bit better. So let's go with a dark. Let's go with a dark gray. See if I got another one. That works. Okay, lock the transparency. We're going to add a slight dark gray to this. And we're going to keep some of these other layers intact. I'll show you why in a second. This bottom layer, of course, we're going to keep intact because that's kind of our master template. Now you can kind of see we already have a base channel. We have an alpha channel above this one, or a complete layer. We have that locked. We're going to go and add mask to it. Again, if you're confused, see my other videos, because this is going to get real exciting really fast. We select our glitter for mask, and we just go a little bit nuts with the glitter. All right. Then I'm going to come in with my harsh chaos brush. Now you get these striations on here. That's from the program I used. You want to be using something a little bit better, but for the sake of this is going to go very fast. So I'm cutting down on this layer. Then I'm going to come in with our instant blur. Going to drop the pressure to about 11 and 12. Could probably go a little bit higher than that. Well, one more thing I forgot to do. Edit. Layer options, blend mode, add. That's gonna give us the love we need. Okay. What I'm doing right now is I'm going in and fuzzing out everything to give us a little better look on this. This will become a little more apparent here in a few moments. Okay, not much I can do about those striations. All right, now we're going to come up here. Here's our previous model. We are going to actually reduce the opacity on this to 70% instead of 100. This is going to be the top surface amount, so we're going to make it a little bit more white. We're going to come back to our Yield Glitter brush for this layer. The blending, same thing. Tools, layer options, blend mode, add. Once we're there, not too much. Let's go ahead and use a kind of a more detailed. And if you notice, we can repeat this process and we get an instant 3D map. Okay, let's take the next level. We can adjust how much we see there by the opacity. That's pretty much it. Next step, we can take this a little bit farther. We can merge everything down. Control-Alt down key will merge the layers together. We come back to our brush. We go to our blur brush. Pressure down. Softness I'm just going to keep there for now because I can. Let's go 250 on this. Softness, actually, let's go 50 on this. And I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to move it down the downhills. That gives us really crazy quick mountains and layers in absolutely no time at all. Gets rid of those weird striations. Just add some rivers, add some valleys, add some forests, and you have your own 3D map. Okay, one last thing. We'll get into this. That's how you work with... Yeah, we don't want to save these. One final thing. To do this, I'm going to need to close Photoshop. Don't want to save anything here. Thank you. We're going to jump into ZBrush really quick. Now, ZBrush is, of course, the ProLogic 3D software. It was just kind of a fun thing. We're going to start our thick plane. We're going to make it a Polymesh 3D. Right now, we're at 2,000 polygons. Our y-axis so I don't go nuts. Okay, we're going to Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D. We want at least about 2 million polygons on here. Now, this one's really tough to create something. So you just pretty much choose, let's say a foam brush, let's say stroke. We just want, let's go dots, alpha. Okay, here's the hard part of this. Alpha, import. We're going to look for a height map here. That's going to be really difficult, right? Let's see. Oh, here's a height map right here I did earlier. Okay. That's it. That's all you have to do. That is absolutely all you have to do with this. Oh, let's turn off. There's not dots. There. See intensity up. We have, it's looking better. Let's actually do the focal shift down, the intensity up. And instant 3D map with ZBrush. Boom, done. Then we can take that, export that, 3D print it, glossy it up, send it to kids, stuff like that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dan. It's been a heroically challenge to get through this on Monday. I hope this helps in your media. I hope it helps with your projects in Photoshop, in ArtRage, in Maya, in ZBrush, or anything else. This is quick. This is easy. Again, any height map will do. Our next video will actually be creating a map in ArtRage, taking data off that map in ArtRage, and moving that into ZBrush to create instant texture maps, putting that in Photoshop, making brushes out of Photoshop, out of ArtRage into Photoshop for height maps. Really fun stuff this Wednesday. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for coming, and hope you have a great day.